Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Vertical Take with Jennifer and Taha. This is episode 56, and we have our favorite grandpa today, John Henry Richardson.
Hey, kids. Did you all make your beds this morning?
Yes, we did.
All right. You got your lunch money?
I did. What about you, Jennifer?
We're going to turn it over here. Move the camera over here.
So, if the viewers don't know, at the time of filming this, Jennifer's in a really tough situation where she had to abandon her beautiful home and stay at a hotel.
I'll be back in there. Don't. I mean, I'm not homeless, but I know you made it sound like I'm homeless. No, they're doing stuff. Yeah. They're doing stuff to my apartment, so they put me in a motel for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun, isn't it?
No, it is, but no. I mean, being in like one little tiny motel. I just want my bed. I want my apartment.
Yeah. She wants her
small
own space.
TV.
Yes, and then I got a big 85-pound pit bull that I share it with, and we're like knocking into each other. And
I hope you got 2 queen-size beds at least.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. But of course, he's going to want to sleep with me. I mean, he ain't going to sleep by himself.
I would think he'd cling to you knowing that he's in a foreign place now.
Yeah, he does.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Yeah. Well, all the best. It's only 2 weeks or so, huh? And then you'll be back to normal.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I think we're towards the end of the 2 weeks, right? At this point.
Yeah, pretty much. That might be another week, but hopefully not. So we'll see.
Right.
So, John, what first sparked your interest in acting? Was there a defining moment when you knew that this was your path?
Okay. At first, I didn't want to be an actor because I would be. I had really, my blue eyes were really more bluer than they are now, and I had very long eyelashes, really kind of feminine eyelashes, evidently. And my very first gig was in the Cub Scouts, in which we had to do American tableaus, where the curtain would open up on a stage and you would see Washington crossing the Delaware. And it was all Cub Scouts dressed up as, So guess which historic American Revolutionary character I got to play? You'll never guess. Betsy Ross sewing the flag of America.
Seriously,
of the Union Jack
with the do-rag and the long gown, and I'm sitting there, and it's got to be still, right? And it's still, and the curtain opens up, and I'm there, and I've got the little bifocals, and I'm doing my, sewing the stars on the flag,
Yeah.
And all you can hear outside is all the other Cub Scouts in the audience laughing their ass off and saying, "Ah, it's Richardson!" And that kind of was my idea that, I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this.
Yeah.
But my father and mother are both in the business. My mother was at the time the payroll manager at Warner Brothers Studios. So we knew what everybody made, all the stars made. And every day after school, I'd be at like junior high school and high school, and I would be able to walk to Universal and Warner Brothers and spend all my afternoons there. So I got a chance to meet all the stars at the time, like Clint Eastwood when he was still so young, and they were bugging him to try to fix his teeth, and James Garner, who did Maverick, and so many wonderful people. And I saw them as regular people because it was like a community here, and that's what made it comfortable for me. And so I wound up doing extra work, and I worked alongside Ronnie Howard, when he was Ronnie Howard, before he became the great director, Ron Howard. And so it was just a natural in. My father was a publicity photographer for the studios. So he would always go to all these openings, like at the Chinese Theater and the Egyptian. And I would come as his assistant, and I would change the light bulbs on his graphics camera. And change the film and all that stuff. And so I learned all about filming and composition and contrast and so many important things that it was just natural for me to slip into that, And so it's always seemed like a natural and normal lifestyle to me until you read the tabloids. And
Oh
that's where
boy.
it sounds crazy. That's where it sounds crazy. But if you grew up in the community, like, Jeff Bridges and Bo Bridges, their father and mother, Dorothy and Lloyd Bridges, they were all their lives, Michael Douglas, under Kirk Douglas and all the Douglases. And so there are a lot of families that are 2 and 3 and 4 generation Hollywood people. And they're just regular folks. They think of themselves as living in a small town and a small community. And I love kind of holding on to that. Well, Verdes are very similar, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
The vertical
community.
Yeah, it is.
And everybody knows everybody. And that's what makes it so wonderful. You say, wow, wherever it goes, hopefully we're all going with it.
Agreed.
Exactly.
It's really cool to see.
Well, and I was going to say, and I tell several of you all, the thing that I love the most about verticals, other than the verticals themselves, is the fact that the community it's big, but at the same time, it's small enough where we, like me and you, could be chatting. Like there's no way I would ever go and be able to interview Clint Eastwood, but I'm interviewing you. So like, that's a chance that I'm able to have. So that's
and it's important for all of us to be accessible to one another, because we have to spread the word. I'm amazed. I live in Hollywood, and the average Joe and Jill that you bump into, they don't even know what Verdes are. You have a cell phone. What do you mean you don't know? Until you say, okay, Google real short. And now you never have to say another word to them.
Yeah, because they'll know.
A lot of them know, but they don't a lot of them know, like they've seen them like on Facebook or something, but they don't realize that's what it is.
Yeah. Because the ads, I didn't know anything about verticals until I saw the ads that came up on Instagram and Facebook. And I was like, oh, okay, this is this. So I feel like if you're on social media, you should have some sort of an exposure to the content of verticals. Let's word it that way.
Yeah, you should. You should. It's funny because the market will change, the products will change, and therefore the audience capture will change. We have no men watching these, and yet they have more money than the women. Why are we not targeting them? We can have both. You can still have rom-coms. You can have wonderful kind of whodunits and things like that. There's so many different genres we can begin to get into now, But it's funny that Hollywood doesn't really know what to do right now. I live right across the street from Warner Brothers still, and it looks like a ghost town. All the sound stages are empty,
Really?
And they are buying product from indies. They need product. And they're making the same mistake they made back in the 1950s when television came along. And the studios thought, oh, they're the threat, they're the competition. It took about 3 years for the studios to realize, wait a minute, we can make the same product. Why are they competition?
Exactly.
Let's all make television. And here we all are making television. But those first 2 years, they were resistant. And that's what's happening now. It's cyclical. If you don't understand the history of Hollywood, of how films changed when suddenly somebody said, hey, you know what? We're going to start making films talk. And they say, who wants to see actors talk?
We went from Charlie Chaplin and those
100 years ago, who wants to see actors talk? Well, isn't that what you go to see them for? So it's amazing that people are very cautious about getting into Verdes. Fact of the matter is, you can make Verdes a lot cheaper than you can make feature films.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Because of the vertical within $150,000 budget.
Yeah. So it's all good news, but it's interesting to watch. Conservative people need to jump in sooner, because what's going to happen is it's going to be harder and harder to come in and generate any kind of a new buzz, because so many have already gotten in there ahead of you. And I tell my people, I have some friends who, during the direct-to-video period of the 80s and 90s, when everybody went to Blockbuster and Hollywood Video and you rented movies on VHS tapes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the same thing. We're making direct-to-video product. We don't have to wait for a theatrical release. It starts, you can watch it next week on Bigelow or any one of them with drama box, whichever one you want. And so we're taking them directly to the buyer, no middleman.
Nope.
And
you guys report
directly to the buyer. Any independent funding person should get on. This is the one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, did you see that? No, you're good. You're good.
Yes, we want to hear everything that you want to say.
I've been a teacher all my life, so I tend to go on, a little bit more.
That's totally fine.
Well, let me go ahead and go on to the next question. So you portrayed a bunch of different wide range of roles in both film and vertical dramas. Was there one character that stayed with you long after you wrapped?
Well, we've only been doing the verticals for 2 years, so there isn't a long after yet. But I've done 30. I've done 30 some of them. 30 some of them, and I generally play the good guy. So I'm always playing the patriarch, of the company that wants his son to settle down, or the grandfather who wants somebody to get married. I want to have a child before I go, and that's a recurring theme for the kind of characters I play. But I'd say the one that sticks in my mind, the one that I enjoyed, I think most of all, would have to be Matrimony, where I got where I got a chance to play Mr. Dinovalina, the designer, and they gave me necklaces and all kinds of bizarre wardrobe and a beautiful little dog named Gucci.
And a little dog.
Yeah. And then working with Jackson Tiller, as my son, because we hit it off just bam, instantly. In fact, next week, there's my next film. The next movie.
Okay.
Right?
Can't really see what it's called, but if you don't mind reaching it out.
It's called 30 Days to Love.
Ooh, okay.
And Jackson plays my son, and Grace Swanson, who I worked with in Driven to Love, plays the daughter. So
with Noah Fernley,
yeah, with Noah. Right?
That's my favorite role of yours, by the way. Yeah, that was my favorite role of yours, by the way, is Driven to Love. That's where I started becoming a fan of yours. Yeah,
it was a fun role. It was a feisty character. I don't play bad guys because my grandkids are the audience that I care most about.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And they can't visualize that you're playing a character when you're cruel or you're abusive. And I will not play an abusive character. In fact, I sidestep the trap of even being in shows where abusing women is part of the theme.
And we salute you for that.
I think we're all pushing back, aren't we, now on that?
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of are.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, the some of the things that they've got in these. And and I was talking to somebody about it, that I feel like we're at a point where we don't need that stuff. Like, why? I mean, it shouldn't even be. Some of the stuff that's in there, it's unheard of. Yeah.
Well, if we get away from these soap operas and we get into more adventurous storylines, I mean, I don't mind the slapping, but I'd rather have the women doing it.
Yeah.
So how about Charlie's Angels? Redo a rework of that and have these girls kicking the shit out of every abusive guy in the world. Now that's a movie we'd all watch.
Yeah. Or like an Ocean 8.
Yes, exactly like an Ocean 8. Why not?
Yeah, definitely. That would.
But
but they need to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to tell you that I was talking to somebody that I was telling them about how the slap has lost its effect. Like, okay, slapping. Nobody should be slapping anybody. Let's be real. But there are those moments where, especially when a female gets, like, a man has made a female so angry, whether it was like lying, cheating, whatever, and that they have hit their breaking point when they slap that person. But now they slap so many people that you just whatever.
No.
Oh, okay. It's like saying hi.
Exactly. I saw a clip recently, one where the man just walked right up to the woman. He was predetermined to slap her. And why she would look surprised is beyond me, because every woman knows a man's intention before the violence begins.
True.
You know? But again, it's a boy audience. It's also the Chinese audience. It's a different culture.
Yeah,
you know,
a slapping Chinese
say, "Oh, they love it. They love it over in China." You mean the men love it? The women don't love it. No woman could ever love a story about a woman being a victim and being abused.
No.
I had to do one. I had to do one where it was in the script that I had to slap this girl, and I said, "Okay." This was early on, and I wasn't sure what the parameters are, what you could. And I thought, okay, how am I going to pull this off? I don't want. Okay, I just got to make it as organic as possible. That I didn't mean to, and then I feel terrible remorse afterwards, right? But in actuality, when we started to do it, and I'm building up to it, and she knows it's going to happen, and I know I'm going to do it, is it just the hand came back, and then I couldn't do it, and we continue the scene. And it was just as effective because the intention was there.
Exactly.
And so I advise people to sidestep that trap by not being able to follow through with it. It's still just as dramatic. Then at least it will be, will he or won't he, you know? But either way, it's not satisfactory. It's not satisfactory. You know,
it's not at all.
Yeah.
Well, you did say that you don't like playing the villain, but I'm gonna ask the question anyways. So, John, do you feel more at home as the hero, the villain, or somewhere in between? And what makes that space compelling for you?
That's a great question. When I was younger, I loved playing villains because villains are so complex and there's so much color. You bring so much color. They're the ones that shake it up, aren't they? They're the mover and shaker because they can both be the catalyst as well as the villain, right? So I did enjoy it, but I did it mainly because it was guilt-free. You could do terribly shitty things, but you could get away with it because you're playing a character who was, a sick bastard. But then I got to the point where I realized, there's no more ground for me to try to, plow up to make a good villain. And I'm never really comfortable being them. And now certainly with the grandkids, I'm serious about the grandkids comment. I don't want anyone to see that side of me because what am I trying to, the trouble is once you do it, once you become compromised, they will never believe you as the lovable old grandpa again.
No,
just killed you just shot your image in the head, right?
Exactly.
And so you got to say, wait a minute, I don't do this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll do anything you want, but this is something I don't do.
You got to set up your boundaries.
You can get somebody better to do it than me. That's what I usually tell them. You can get somebody else to be better. Just know how to cast me. Be good at knowing how to cast me.
Recently, I saw you in the one where. Oh, no. Yes. In the one where it's 4 generations. I think it was Sam Meyerson, and I forgot the actress's name. But you were like the great grandpa, and then you had your son, and then he had his son, and then
that was Abigail Fawn. Yeah, Abigail Fawn and
Abigail. There you go.
And Sam Meyerson, and then we had. I was the 90-year-old grandpa, and then the 70-year-old grandpa was Thomas Garner, and then the 50-year-old grandpa, his son was Rodney. And
then the 30-year-old, I'm guessing, was Sam Meyerson, and then the 2 little kids that came out.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 2; it was 3, right? 3 boys.
Triplets, because each one of us.
Yeah, it was triplets. Yeah, it was triplet boys
at the end. But that was really a lot of fun. And I asked them. I said, "Well, how are you going to age me up to look 90?" And they said,
"Right,
you'll be fine.
Put you in a wheelchair. Put your son on a cane. The other one in a walker."
Yeah, right. That's all we need. Yeah, right.
Let me see your face.
Yeah, 90. Yeah, you're there. Okay, thank you. Okay,
right. Put some more wrinkles on.
Your face tonight, and we'll be fine tomorrow.
Yeah. But my all-time favorite of yours is the the one you did with Peyton Tucker and John Jameson. It was his debut. It
Yeah,
was actually
yeah,
both of their debut ones
yeah.
on Real
Hello, yeah,
Shorts.
yeah.
Hello, Let's Get
Hello, let's get
Married.
married. Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
good
Well,
one.
that was the first. That was the first deep character, really a deep role. There's this one scene where I'm missing my wife, and she was a great dress designer, and then Peyton has to go in, and the dress she's wearing isn't quite right, and so I go and I find a dress and I bring it to her, right? And so the scene is she goes off into the bathroom or bedroom to change the dress, and I'm kind of just standing there waiting, and I hear the door open, and I turn to her. And I see her in my wife's dress, right? And I have that amount of time of seeing her to her coming toward me to say my line to her. And that gave me just enough time for the tears to just go.
To come naturally.
Yeah. And it just fit. It just fit perfectly.
No, it was perfect.
Such an honest moment with the two of us. And we looked at each other and we said, what happened there? I said, well, we had that moment. You had the moment for the buildup. Vertical shoot fast, they don't give you the moments. You got to turn, look, and run away, break down. It's like, it's much more interesting watching the buildup. For instance, if you see a man, his eyes get welled up with tears, you don't wait for the single tear. That's a girl thing.
Right.
The strength under it all, she's holding it together, but that single tear shows otherwise, reveals her true nature. With a man, you don't need that. All you got to see is the eyes welled up, and you know that he's crying and breaking inside, and he doesn't know how to deal with it, and you give it up to him. So we have a different challenge than females. Anytime a woman breaks down and cries, it doesn't really surprise us. We just expect that when things get dicey, that's something they will do because they allow themselves to do it.
True.
Yeah.
Another thing I found very interesting was the orange juice in cereal.
Ew.
Yeah.
And you guys were like, oh my God, we love this. And you guys were actually eating it. And I'm just like, John, how did you manage to have orange juice with cereal?
Well, we were laughing our butts off when we were doing it because the first taste of it was just so bitter.
Oof.
The cornflakes, But then after the first one, it just started these kind of fun, and we started laughing and spilling it, and milk was coming out our noses. The orange juice, it was just terrible, but we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun doing it. It's funny you remember little things like that, don't you? Isn't that indicative of verticals? We remember little moments.
Yeah,
I have a photographic memory, so I like to catch on to a lot of things. Especially for actors who I don't want to say I'd say I look up to or admire. I think that would be a better word.
Yeah, then you look for those things, don't you, in their performance?
You do.
You look for them.
You do.
They're little isms. It's them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then I can go back to them and say, okay, I like the fact that you did this little thing or you did that. And then I can also give constructive criticism where it's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And that's exactly what the actor would want. That's exactly, you fulfill the actor's intent when you follow them. I wonder what he's going to do with this. I wonder what he's going to do with that. Sometimes you're known as a prop actor. Like most of these parts, it seems to me they want me to use a cane. And so I automatically just keep one in my car. And so sometimes they give me these long walking sticks with these, these brass knobs that weigh 20 pounds. And I want to go in twirling it, but it's just, shoot, this thing go right by my head. I said, maybe I should twirl this one.
Wow. Okay. So what has been your boldest creative choice you've made in a role? So what do you think the boldest
any role?
Yeah, any role.
It doesn't have to be anything in your career.
Well, I have to say one that I just did, and it was a bad guy, but it was just psychologically a bad guy, and it was Shirley Jackson's Witch.
Ooh,
and if you ever read any of Shirley Jackson's books, she's just a wonderful writer of I guess you'd have to say Gothic tales, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Witch takes place in the late 40s, and it's on a train, and it's in the lounge car in the train. And it's with a little boy and his mother, and I'm the stranger walking through with a cigar, and I'm saying, "Hello, young man. Nice to see you." And he seems like he's a genteel Southern man, right?
Yeah.
And he begins to tell this kid a story about his sister. And the more he gets into the story, the more violent and macabre and strange it becomes, because basically what he's doing is he's killing his sister, right? Murdering his sister.
Right.
And he's telling this to the kid as if it's a fantasy, and he's laughing and having a good time. And so it was such a difficult thing, because the laughing was hysterical without being funny hysterical. It was just a mad laugh. And to go to that place and to look at this sweet-faced little kid, little Wyatt, who played this role, Wyatt Solis, he's brilliant, saying these things to him, and him just going for it. And the mother over there with the other baby trying to, now that's enough. Now that she's trying to stop it. And it was just, I went to the dark side. I just went to the dark side to do it, because to my character, it had to be delicious. This sadism had to be a delicious thing that he had to do. And you can't help but feel guilty afterwards. You just wanted a long hot shower, and a couple glasses of wine. But I'm proud of the work. I won some awards, and it's been going to the festivals, and I do show it to people because it just surprises them. But my grandkids don't know about it. Wait a
minute. Hold on. Which one is this? What's the name of it? Is it out now?
Which? Well, it's going to the film festival circuit right now. And it's a short film, so I don't think it's going to be developed into a feature film. So it'll wind up going to film festivals. And then there's no real place to distribute short films. Netflix might take them. I wish someone would have a short movie fest that would run all the time online, so you could watch all these great films that you see at film festivals.
Yeah.
But
because
there's not a market for them.
Yeah. Well, I and it's strange for me to say this, but I enjoy short films, especially if you can portray a good story within 15, 20 minutes. I mean, that is a good short. And I've watched a couple of them, mainly because they've had vertical actors in them, and I've watched them, but they've been really, really good. Really good. Yeah.
Well, that's what the art house films are, because they're always usually wonderful little character-driven stories, and you really get drawn into the humanity of it. And no, I think there'll always be a great market. Now, before COVID, there were about 4,000 film festivals around the world. Since COVID, over 10,000 film festivals throughout the world.
Oh, wow.
And the increase was mainly online film fests, where you can't go to the venue. You just send in your film, and maybe they'll have a Zoom call like this, and they'll let you know you won. And then it gets sent in the mail. Oh, look, I got this award.
Right.
But it's the one place where film festivals can be given a chance to prove themselves. And then the filmmakers are proven as award-winning, critically acclaimed filmmakers. You get that after one festival, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So has there ever been a director or a co-star who shaped your craft in a meaningful way?
Well, there always are. You try to glean the best you can from everybody. Sometimes some directors will make a good point. You say, I got to remember that. I've got to use that again. And they may not even necessarily be one of your favorite directors or even one of the best directors, but everybody's got some kind of a lesson that they can teach you. And having been a teacher all those years, I started the whole acting for film curriculum at the New York Film Academy, because there's no place you could get a degree in acting.
Theater arts was not a thing.
Well, what good is that? You go to USC and you say, I'm going to go to the theater arts department. Meanwhile, across the campus, you got the Spielberg Center, and you got the Lucas Center, and you got all these wonderful, heavily funded filmmakers, and they're not coming over to the theater department to cast. So it's really a waste of money unless you want a life in theater, and that's not not as much of a realistic goal. There are only so many jobs.
Right.
So, like we were discussing, vertical dramas do move at a rapid pace. What do you think your greatest challenge in telling, or no, sorry, what is the greatest challenge in telling a full story in such a condensed format?
Well, I know what my greatest challenge is, and that's memorizing the lines.
Yeah, right.
Because I always play, you know, the grandpa or the matriarch, the patriarch is always a purveyor of the storyline, and he pushes it all the way through. And then we watch the kids go on the journey together, right?
Right.
But they give you a lot of lines, and so many of these have been AI affected, or they came from China or South Korea or Japan, and they have been translated, and the translations do not fit the American mouth.
Nope.
You know, I wouldn't. So it's hard to memorize bad dialogue.
Yeah.
So usually
raunchy lines. Oh my God.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll let you rephrase it, and that's one of the first questions you ask. Like the one that I'm doing next week, we're doing a table read first when we do our fitting on Sunday.
Good.
And I always tell these directors, let us do a table read, okay? Because usually I get cast. I don't even know who my co-stars are until I show up on set, or I see the call sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Wow.
I didn't know Jackson. I didn't know that Jackson and Grace were going to both be in the show until I saw the CC on the email. Oh, it's with Jackson. Oh, it's with, you know.
Grace, yeah.
We're kind of left out of the loop on a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So anyway, it's difficult. It's difficult to get those lines down. And one time when I did the Mafia, the Mafia Daddy surprise sextuplets, and I played the head of Salvatore Morelli, right? The dying old Godfather. He had volume. He just wouldn't shut the hell up, you know. And I used an ear prompter for some of it. And the way the ear prompter works is you use your cell phone. You go to your voice memo or meme, and you record your line, right? And then you give your phone to somebody off camera, and they push the button when it's time for you to talk. And you hear your own voice coming through your ear, and you're saying what's coming through your ear at the same time. And it's a joy to work with, but it can also be a headache. It can be a headache.
Wait, is that?
I don't like it.
Is that the one where, because I have a really bad memory, so like I don't remember titles and stuff, so I always know like the plot or whatever. Was that the one where you were laying in the hospital bed, you were apparently dying, but all you wanted was your son to say that he was going to be marrying or having a child with somebody, and as soon as he said that or something like that, you're like, oh, hey, great. You weren't even dying.
Jumped right out of bed. I boxed him. Yeah. No, that was a different one. That was different. I did a variation of that. With the four grandfathers too. The spoiled by four grand.
Yeah, by the
spoiled by 4 billion. And the title was "Pregnant After the First Night, Spoiled by 4 Billionaires."
They had to add the raunchy stuff. They had to add that. You do know what inspiration they draw from these raunchy, ridiculous titles. Do you have an idea? Yeah.
I think, as with tropes, you know, it's going to be, like if there's werewolf in the title or alpha in the title. Oh yeah, that's what I want. That's my genre. So I think it's a tip off as to what the genre is, but that's about all I know. Well, that's kind of a hot topic because, you know, no one has really breached that topic with verticals.
Mm-hmm.
Is this just private pleasure watching?
Right.
You know, single women of all ages, you know, we don't know, and they ain't saying, so we just, you know, no guy. There's no guys sitting at home with a bottle of gasoline watching.
Oh my God!
Birdie, you know, it's not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen, man.
Not the Vaseline.
Petroleum jelly.
Imagine me just looking through stuff and saying, here's what Jackson Tiller.
Do you think vertical storytelling is reshaping how audiences connect with the actors in stories in the long run?
I think it is.
Okay.
I think the format alone is, but it certainly is much more intensification on these actors. You know, if you call this a soap opera, you don't get these massive close-ups all the time in soap operas. You know, and when we shoot these, basically right now, this is my close-up as I look in this square right there. You have one camera shooting you for the close-up, and the other one shooting your full shot. And meanwhile, on the other side of the other actor you're talking to, they have two cameras doing the same thing. So if you can afford 4 cameras, you're getting 4 shots with one take, and they all match seamlessly and perfectly for editing. And that's what they want to do more, but that's more money. It's more money. Yeah. Also, it's difficult to be able to light 2 sides equally without making a little bit of a compromise. You know what I mean? So some purists, DPs, director of photography, they will say, no, let's just shoot his side first and we'll flip over. So you do get both, you know what I mean? But it's close up right from the get-go. I will oftentimes in these films, like right now, we're all 3 of us in a Verdi right now. Right?
Yeah, we are.
And
hence
when
the name
I'm starting to do a scene, I will say to the director, it's okay if I do this, if I come into it and I start. I say, no, you're already there. Okay.
Right.
So our feet are always locked. And there's no movement. There's no starting to go. There's nothing, you know. And so it's hard to get used to that discipline, because
it's
you
just
feel
dialogue
like
and facial expressions.
Well, yeah, it doesn't feel organic.
No.
You know,
nothing close to
nobody ever just stands there and talks. People don't do that. We do things, we do things. Don't touch your face. Oh, no, you can't do that,
Yeah.
But the nice thing about Verdi's is it tests the bounds of what we can get away with. And so we're discovering through the doing what we can get away with. And it doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. It's worth it. It's worth it. It's a new approach to our craft.
Yeah. Yeah. Vertical. Have you ever had any like conflicts, I guess, with the director, or like they wanted to go in a certain way and you thought it would be better a different way, or vice versa?
Well, I've never argued with the director. I usually pull the director aside and we'll talk about it. That's why you like to table read, because I will. Early on, I would consult with the director before I'd even make my choices. And then after a while, I realized, no, he's less of a director than a conductor. He has a whole orchestra. He doesn't have time to work on your little violin, John. And they're right. So you say, oh, good. That means that I can practice my violin and do my violin thing, and nobody's going to give me shit about it. Right. That's what I love about it. And they know what they like when they see it. And they'll always encourage you to do more of that if they like it. So it's wonderful. It's shorthand direction.
Yeah.
So if you're an independent artist and you'd like to be on your own feet and do your own thing, it's a perfect place to be, Verdi's. But you still have to learn all the other disciplines too, don't you? Eye lines are key.
Yeah. Yeah.
And other certain rules that apply. Certainly, you want to use your film voice as much as you can. A film voice is right now I'm speaking kind of in a film voice, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking. It isn't that much above a whisper. It's very confidential. But when I talk to you like this, it makes the audience move in. They move in more and more and more and more, because I can draw them in with my voice, and I can do that. The trouble with verticals is, even though they put a lavalier mic for you here, and so you only have to make your voice go there, they oftentimes double it up with a boom.
Yeah.
Here's where that does a great disservice for the actor, because you got basically a doorway. So the boom's got to be 4 feet above my head so it isn't seen in the frame. Well, you may as well get rid of the boom now, because I can't use my film voice. Now I got to project from my diaphragm, and it's just everything's blown away. Everything's blown out.
Yeah.
So the rules change because of that. And so we have to find a way to somehow bring that rules back in. And so I will pull the sound guy aside and I say, look, I understand that they're having you boom. Can you give me a laugh? Because this is a personal scene and I don't want to have to boom it for the camera.
Yeah.
And they always want to accommodate you. Nobody really listens to sound.
Unfortunately.
The crew doesn't really they don't really worry about that. We'll fix the sound later. No, you won't fix the sounds later. Nobody pays attention.
AI.
There is no ADR. We're not going to come in next week and match our lip flap.
Right.
So they got to realize that help these sound guys get the sound right now.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about the sound crew is 2 people, and then you got 12 other people that are running the rest of the show. And so the sound guys always are the last ones that come in.
Right.
And they don't get the respect they need. And I'll tell you what, film and verticals are a much more oral medium than people realize.
You're right.
Because you can't do a lot with a face. You can't do a lot of shit with your face, you know. Because it just comes off like just acting 101, right? But you can do a whole lot of shit with your voice, and you can change it and do whatever you can find. All kinds of things. You can bring it down into here. You can have a fucking field day with your voice. Right. And the audience will watch. They will not turn away. So you can turn down the sound in a vertical. You don't know what's going on. I just see 2 people arguing, right? But you turn the sound up, and now you're drawn into it. And it really is, more than anything else, it's radio at that point. You know?
Why do you think that, like, thrillers, why do you think, like, in thriller movies, you know how it's like really, really silent, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like a big boom happens just to scare you? Same thing with your voice.
Yeah. So. And the thing is, it's music.
Yeah.
The same rules apply with the music composition of a show. They did the same thing with the music, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And they also bring it back up again the same way. I mean, you know, what's that?
Is it?
And then it becomes Jaws, you know. Well, a performance can be the same thing. We can do the same thing, Cal. You're trying to guess what it was that I was doing. Right?
I was like, that's Jaws, isn't it?
That one. It's Britney Spears, wasn't it? No.
It's Spears. Okay, so is there a dream role or genre that you haven't taken on yet that you would love to explore?
In verticals, I would love to do, because I think I've done just about every genre that I want to. I haven't done enough Westerns. I want to do more Westerns. I got into the business because of Westerns, but Westerns are, you know, a hard sell. People don't watch Westerns anymore, hardly. Also because the rule of Westerns, it's slow and it's laconic and it's, you know, tumbleweeds rolling through the shot. You know, it's the West, the old, you know.
Right, the old Wild
West, right? But, you know, it's perfect for verticals because a man astride a horse, that's a vertical, you know. So they could do a lot of Westerns. But what I want to see happen is the murder mysteries, the film noir.
Yes.
Film noir is always timeless, and you could shoot in black and white and probably do really well with these as well. Because film noir is so universal, and you get your you get the femme fatale, right? You get the double cross. Certain rules that apply are already in these soaps. So why not lean into it with the atmosphere? Right now, we're selling real estate. We're shooting in mansions, but we're not selling atmosphere.
Yeah.
And
I agree with that.
These shows all, most of them look very similar. The camera work is locked into this world that it can't, you know, hey, how about going handheld? No, we can't go handheld. It'll make people dizzy. Well, then let them get dizzy. Let's find out where this is going to go. But they're just very conservative in their approach to it. And so it'll take a while. It'll take maverick filmmakers to go in and say, to hell with the ticket off the sticks. We're going to go handheld for this sucker.
Yeah. Well, now, John, let me ask you something because I'm kind of curious. So, and this is something that I keep telling people. Viclu did something where they took took a horizontal film from a Passion Flicks. We'll just say it was from Passion Flicks, and they brought it over to Viglu, but they turned it vertical.
Right.
How can they do that? Because in horizontal, there's all this room here, but then when you go and turn it to vertical, the room is gone. Like, would you know, like,
well, the one of the problems there,
okay,
is one of the problems there is its eye lines don't work now. If you and I are on screen together, right?
Yeah.
And we're facing each other and we're talking. Okay. Then they're going to cut in and do one of me in profile and one of you in profile, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, when we cut for the close-ups, then that works better, because then I can do right now what we have 3 close-ups looking at the 3 of us, right?
Right.
So we switch it, and we could all be in the same room right now, but it works because our eye lines are moving toward camera. Eye lines are moving toward camera, so it'll cut. You could cut from me to him to you and back and all that, and so we have a lot more latitude in that regard.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Camera. But no, you can. But the trouble is, they weren't intended to be made as vertical, so it's never going to be quite the same. In other words, you're going to. I mean, you think of a movie like Gladiator. Okay, we're going to cut this into these. No, you can't. They're wide shots. How about Ben-Hur in the chariot race? That's a horizontal experience. Jaws, a horizontal experience. Every race car movie, anything where it goes this way is a horizontal experience. You can't shoot a horizontal experience in vertical, because then all you see is a car coming through the shot.
Right.
You can't go with it.
No, I agree.
Get off those sticks, and you got to trust that the camera will. The problem is the information on camera reveals so quickly when they do that it can make the viewer dizzy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, okay, so what do we got to do? Slow down a chase scene? And that's not going to work. No. So there's a lot of ironing out to be done for the vertical world to really come alive.
I agree. Yeah.
But somebody's got to start doing it and trying out.
Yeah.
And we really need more experimentation. And that's the new filmmakers, the new kids coming out of film school, which, by the way, are not teaching vertical filmmaking. So imagine you get your degree and now you're out in the real world, and the first job you get is a vertical, and you have absolutely no
clue
idea of how to shoot it, how to edit it, how to light it, how to block it,
Yeah.
It's a hell of a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I agree.
But as long as we're getting funding money from East Asia, they're going to hold a tight rein on the purse strings as well as what you're allowed to get away with doing.
Yeah, that's true.
When I did Pulse of Love, the Pulse of Love, I think.
Yes.
It's called. Yeah. That was an Israeli director and crew. And they did handheld, and they said we're going to break the rules, and it's fun to watch because they broke the rules. Right? Mm-hmm. But let's see what happens. I mean, right now we're on the ground floor of this thing.
Yeah, I mean, China and them, they're 8 years in. We're infants.
Yeah. I mean, really, you think about it, where are we going to go next? I mean, it's wide open. It's wide open. Yeah. And what you have to hope for is all those of us that sweated and worked to try to get this format up on its feet and have it be feasible and have an audience want to see it. Big studios can't walk in and just walk away with this. So thank you. You did a good job. Thank you all. Oh, listen, we're not going to need you to review or do interviews because we have our own people. No, you're not going to trash an entire industry that has grown up within the industry in 2 years. They're valuable. You need them. If only as technical directors, you need them. So if they're smart, they will use all of us who are making them now to help them not make mistakes. They're going to cost a hell of a lot more for them to make than for us to make. We can make $100 mistake and absorb it. They can't afford $100,000 or $1 million mistake.
No,
so
they cannot.
Yeah, we're in the driver's seat now. But let's see what happens. I mean, they're all buying real estate, Warner's and Paramount. They're both going to Atlanta now, have sound stages there made for vertical. The new vertical cameras that are allowed where you can put it on a swivel. Okay, we're going to shoot both horizontal and vertical.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
So if you could step into the shoes of any character from film history, who would it be and what draws you to them?
It says you're running out of browser space on this device. You may affect your local recording error. That doesn't affect you, does it? You didn't get that notice?
It does say that, but I think probably well, it'll still show up, right, Taha?
I mean, yeah, we should be good for now.
Okay.
It's still recording.
Yeah, it's recording.
So it's recording. I think it's letting us know you're running out of, but we haven't run out completely. So
okay.
Funny thing is, I don't even see that notification. Oh well.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. So
I'll repeat the question. That's fine.
Yeah, you asked about if any.
So, if you could step into the shoes of any character from film history, who would it be, and what draws you to them?
You mean if I could take any famous, say I want to do a remake of a classic film and play a role, something like that?
Yeah. Anything from film history.
And you could step foot in their shoes.
Oh,
well, Charlie Chaplin, you know?
Yeah, Chaplin. Well, I there are so many. There are just so many, so many. I'll tell you the one that I would identify with most would be if you ever saw 12 Angry Men.
Okay.
The white film was 1957. Then they did a remake some years later with George Clooney and his pals. 12 Angry Men. It's a jury room. It all takes place in a jury room over 90 minutes of time in real time. And it's 12 jurors who are arguing over whether or not this boy is guilty of murdering his father.
Right.
And no flashbacks. You're stuck in this room, and it's in real time. And that's one that I would like to do because Juror 8 is the one who will not go with a guilty verdict until we all talk about it. Let's make sure. How do you know? And one by one, he's able to appeal to the logic of everybody, except for the antagonist, who's a bigot. And logic doesn't work with a bigot. So he finds another way to get an inroad. And it's such a wily, wonderful character because he's a lot going on up here, but it all comes from the heart. And Henry Fonda gave one of the great performances of all time in that film. It's definitely worth seeing if you haven't. Okay. You won't believe that it was all shot in this one room,
In 90 minutes, right?
Yeah. But I tend to, character-driven stories, really good, interesting character.
Yeah.
But I like the character that doesn't have the story. He's there to get the story. Because he's the question mark. He doesn't know what the story is, nor does he know what his reaction will be when the story happens. So as everything unfolds, he has one long reaction shot of everything. And I always prefer reacting to acting and playing off the other person because what they give you is gold. Whatever it is, it's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's why I love working with so many of these vertical actors. Jackson's a perfect example. Nevin Tomic as well. Jeff Follett. So many of these guys are they're naturals.
Yeah. So like you said earlier, you've been you said around 30 some verticals? Yeah. Okay. So what advice would you give to like the younger generation that is breaking into the vertical storytelling? Like what advice?
Well, we all have certain levels of our goals. Our goals shift as we attain what we want, right? Okay. So the first tier would be work as much as you can, become a working actor, a full-time working actor. Do that first. That means play anything you have to play. Don't be judgmental of it. Learn your craft. Get good in your craft. Now, once you become a full-time working actor, then you start focusing on your image and your career. And the image has to be, how do I want to be presented out there? Which character? And I would play this a lot when I was at the New York Film Academy with my students. We'd play casting games. Okay, so here's this movie. You got the three bad girls and Mean Girls, right? Which one would you play? Okay. You got Ocean's 11. Which character would you play? And be honest with yourself. Which character would you play? And why would you play them? And you begin to start casting yourself in roles with a greater understanding of what people see in you. Because 9 times out of 10, we want to play the role that's not right for us.
Right.
Yeah.
But we love the role.
Yeah.
Right? We need to know our limitations. So I think that's an important thing. Start by becoming a full-time working actor, then start moving toward a career and an image.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Right? An actor like Mark Pontarelli, for instance, and to a certain degree, Jeff Violet, will play just dark, psychosexually strange characters. But that's their niche, and that is their career, and that's what we expect them to do. They're Willem Dafoe. You never know if he's going to be a good guy or a bad guy, right? John Goodman, good guy, bad guy this week. We don't know, so many of these characters. And the same way with many of the females who can play one or the other. Glenn Close, you never know what she's going to come up with. She's always different in everything she does, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think those are some of the choices you have. And then think about forging that. And then above all that, think about what it is you have to say.
Yes.
You have something to say as an actor, as a producer, as any creator. The two of you are saying something, even though we're doing the talking. You have something to say. Yeah. And what you have to say that I surmise is, hey, this new field of vertical entertainment is really exciting. And it's the most exciting thing that's come along in the industry since television.
Yeah.
Really, since television. Right?
No, I agree.
And so we want to get people that and this is why we're here. This is our mission statement, to make the world aware of what the potential is here. Not what is here, but the potential that is here. Now you can watch the soapies and you can watch the bad acting when they do come along, because some of them, the acting's bad. Let's face it.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's written as bad acting. And when it comes from the Chinese producers, that's what they want. They want the caricatures more than characters. They love it to be over the top. And so that doesn't translate for us well here. So the question we ask ourselves, okay, but who are we making this for? Are we making an American version, plus you're going to cut it together and do it? One for the Orient? Is it? We're never sure,
Right.
But we always think in terms of, I'm assuming that my friends and people that I know and the fan base that we have that are pretty much here in this country, we're making films for them.
Yeah.
I agree. So when the camera stopped rolling, who is John Henry Richardson?
John Henry Richardson is a sponge.
Okay.
And that sponge is pretty well wrung out by the time he finished that role. So he just wants to soak up more experience. I want to get outside. I want to exercise. I want to run. I want to smell. I want to smell what the day's like. I want to go through the park and smell the pine needles. I want all these things. I want to fill up all of my olfactory and all of my senses, all of my senses, and replenish myself again and be inspired again and go see a whole bunch of movies and listen to a whole bunch of music and get absolutely binge on all those things, the accoutrements that are part of my life and my career. It's seamless. There's not a life and a career. It's got to be.
It's unity.
You can't just go home and never talk about it. I know some people that try it and they get away with it, but I don't think I could do it. I think I want to come home and I want to say, hey, can I tell you about this scene that we did today? Really interesting situation came up and I wasn't sure how to. You want a sounding board, and that's why it's always great to have a lover or a friend or a roommate or somebody you can talk to about it, because it's not a kind of a career where you just take off the wardrobe and the makeup and you go home and you're back to being yourself.
No,
it hangs on you. It hangs on you for the longest time, and you got to let it. It's what I refer to as crafting in and crafting out. Crafting in is when I show up on set, I'm already halfway into the character, but I'm also social. I'm talking to everybody else, but half of me is already in the character. And now I'm going to just fold into doing the character. And when it's all over, then I'm going to craft out of it again. I'm driving home. I'm stopping for groceries or maybe a drive through, and I'm still in character a little bit, but I'm crafting. I'm crafting out. I'm not like Daniel Day-Lewis. My wife doesn't have to say, "So who will I be sleeping with tonight?"
Yeah. And and it's good that you have somebody that you're able to do that, because I think that's important, because there are a lot of, not necessarily I mean, I'm sure it could happen in verticals, but a lot of like blockbusters. Take for instance, we'll use Heath Ledger when he was in The Joker.
Yeah.
He was like, he put himself in that role, and his mind got dark. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't for the fact that maybe he didn't have somebody that he could decompress with, somebody like to after that, because I mean, those were some deep role that he was playing, some deep scenes. And, if you put your full self in that, that's very draining.
Yeah. Well, that's what we talk about. You said decompress. That's an excellent word for it. It's the same thing as crafting out and crafting in. So he didn't craft out. Jack Nicholson warned him. He says, listen, this character is going to get under your skin, and you better find a way to get him out of it.
Yeah.
But Heath Ledger unfortunately wasn't able to help himself.
Yeah. Yeah. I use him as an example, but another character or another actor who's amazing that I feel like, Johnny Depp. Oh my gosh, the amount of characters that he can just put himself into, and it's like you'll see him in a role, and then you'll see him in another role, and you're like, how is this the same guy? Like, okay, take for instance, Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow. Like,
yeah.
It's like, what? Yeah.
Yeah. And have you seen Mordecai?
I think so. Yeah. I'm
pretty funny character, the weird mustache, and where the goes his wife, and he's just way over just crazy. But there you go. He's one of those, they say, the tragedy of being a character actor trapped in a lead man's body.
I believe it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, but you look at but if you look at Christian Bale, how he could do American Psycho.
Yes.
And what was the other one? Was it the Mechanic, the one where he lost, like, he got down to like 110 pounds or something like that? The one where he got super. He just really damage to his own body. He evidently has the constitution to come out of it.
That's good. Yeah.
You got to know your own limits. You can't you can't go so much to the dark side that you can't still find the door to get back.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. Well,
we're talking some deep stuff. We're talking some deep stuff here today.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Now we're going to jump into the 2 truths and a lie.
And the current score is at 17.
So it's 2 truths and 1 lie?
Yes, 2 truths and a lie.
I met Marlon Brando 3 times in my life. Right?
Okay.
I studied with Stella Adler. Right?
Ooh.
And I studied with Lee Strasberg.
I'm really hoping that first one's true. Okay.
You never know. The first one he could have met twice or more than 3 times.
He could have.
I'll go with the first one. I think you have studied with the other 2 options. I'll lock in my answer with number 1. I think that you haven't met 3 times.
So you think that's not true? Number 1 is
I
a
think
lie?
I think the number 1 is the lie. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay.
And I'm going to say number 2 is the lie.
No, what made you think that it was number 2?
I don't know.
You don't think that you studied with her?
No, I don't.
I'm trying not to indicate either that I'm lying.
Well, now you can.
Well, now you can, and you can explain everything. So whenever you're ready.
All right. Okay. Yes, I did meet Marlon Brando. I've met 3 times, and we could do an hour just on that.
Ooh, okay.
Unbelievable meeting him one-on-one. Unbelievable. And I met him over a course of years 3 times.
Yeah.
That's true.
I did study with Stella Adler.
Oh. We're both
never studied with Strasberg because I just didn't prefer him as a teacher. I'd audited his classes, and he had a little too much of the God complex for me. Yeah. And and I'm a feminist, so I really responded better to Stella anyway.
Well, congratulations to the rest of you who got that correct. We both
What do
definitely
we win?
F-bombed that. I don't know. Maybe Jennifer can pull up something for prizes. I don't know. Anyways, moving on to the rapid fire. So whenever you're ready, John, I'm just going to start.
Go.
Okay. One word your castmates would use to describe you.
Mischievous.
Who's your biggest cheerleader?
Oh, I need a fast answer for that, right? Me.
You're your own biggest cheerleader. Okay. One role you'd never want to play again.
I'm sorry.
One role you'd never want to play again.
Never want to play again. Do you want a specific name of a character or a role?
Yeah, or one play or vertical, anything that you would never play again.
I would never take over a role that Bryan Cranston already played.
Ooh, Mr. White.
Interesting.
Yeah, I did that once.
What's the first thing you do when you wrap a project?
I'm sorry?
What's the first thing you do when you wrap a project?
Have a cold, chilling wrap beer.
Ooh, interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm not a beer drinker, but there's something about if you put on a good show, the beer's all the better.
Yeah. Last movie that made you cry.
The Green Book.
Okay.
I just saw it again a couple nights ago because it's been playing a lot, and yeah, I cried when I saw that because it was such a beautiful film. And it took place where I grew up in the Deep South.
Ooh,
when racism was still very, very much apparent. And I was just a little boy watching it from a distance before we left the South. Unfortunately, I never got inflicted by it, but it's a beautiful film. And watching these two actors work together and off each other. Viggo Mortensen, right? And Mahershala Ali. Yeah. Oh God! Great story.
Yeah. So one thing fans would be surprised to learn about you. Could be anything.
I'm celibate.
Ooh. Interesting.
Wait, what'd you say?
I'm celibate.
Oh.
He's a celibate.
Yeah, no, she passed, and I have not been able to really.
Okay, yeah.
Fall in love again since. So anyway.
So your favorite fact?
It wasn't intentional celibate. Okay. Favorite what?
I said favorite fashion era.
Oh, gee. 30s and 40s. The 30s and 40s. The wide lapels and the fedoras and film noir.
Right. What decade would you love to relive or get the chance to relive the 10 years that decade?
You mean in my own lifetime or
it could be any. It could be any.
No,
it doesn't have to be.
I would have loved to have lived in the Depression era. Because that's when my mother and my aunt, my nephews, my uncles all grew up during the Depression, and in the 40s. South. Yeah, and it was fascinating to hear about how they all supported the war effort.
Yeah, World War II was
did what they could. They did what they could at home. That old rule about they also serve who stay at home. And it was just a fascinating time to be able to live off the land and have simple pleasures.
Radio
was the main
especially
thing.
Down in the South. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So what's your favorite way to unwind off set?
Oh boy.
I know you said a cold beer after that, I guess.
Yeah. Driving with my music library on shuffle.
Okay. Yeah.
And then just being at one with the music and looking at the world around me and observing people. Once again, filling up my creative juices.
Yeah. Well, talking about music, so who's your favorite musician?
Gee, that's really a wonderful, wonderful question.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many. I have so many because it depends on the genre.
True.
Yeah,
I'll tell you who impresses me. Really great. If you're aware of Rihanna Giddens, Rihanna Giddens, all right. She is just a Renaissance woman. She plays several instruments, but mainly all of the American traditional instruments, the various incarnations of banjo, guitar, harmonica. She sings almost any kind of a genre of music. And Rihanna Giddens just blew me away when I saw her in a live concert. And she's just so forceful. And she does this show, My Music With, on PBS. And each week it's a half an hour with an artist that no one really has ever heard of, but she knows of, that feels the world should hear them.
Yeah. Okay. Do you like being outdoors?
Yeah, very much.
Okay. Do you like quiet villages?
Quiet village, I do. I tend to like quiet villages in smaller towns.
Okay. Do you like live comedy?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. I'm always there rooting for them. A lot of my students have taken on a stand-up because they wanted to be able to break the ice when it comes to going to meetings and auditions and all that. You can't learn those things, right? So I go on, and sometimes they bomb, but I laugh my ass off, you know.
Do you like baking holiday cookies?
I like eating them even more than baking them, but I do.
That's
I like, more than anything, I love licking the bowl.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Same here.
Good. Nothing beats raw cookie dough.
One day they'll find me with a bowl, and that's how I'll
better be careful. Do you like trail mix? Right.
Do you like what?
I asked, do you like trail mix?
Trail mix? Oh yeah, I make my own.
Ooh, interesting.
I mean, I just buy all the. I'd like to go to like Trader Joe's, get all the separate things, the various different nuts that I want.
Yeah, and just make it
around cherries and raisins. And love it. You need them a lot when you're doing these verticals, because during the day you need a little nosh.
The little snackies, to munch on. Do you believe in love?
Off your teeth.
Right? Yeah. I asked, do you believe in love?
Oh God, yeah.
Like true love.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Bringing you back, I know. Hero or villain?
Always hero.
If you could teleport instantly, where would you go right now?
To the past. I go back to the 30s. I'd go back to the Eastern Shore in Virginia the day my mother was born.
Well, I guess it's more like teleport, meaning going to places, not really time travel.
Oh,
that's fine. If you could time travel, okay.
So wait a minute. He said Virginia because that's where I'm from, is Virginia.
I was going to ask you where you were from. Whereabouts?
I'm in the South. Well, I'm in the South. I'm not on the East. I'm on the West, like Southwestern. So like I'm around
Roanoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I live.
Okay.
That's where I live.
Listen, I spent a summer in Roanoke because I had my family back there. I was born in Norfolk.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And we lived on the Eastern Shore, and then I had my also in Richmond we had family, and in Charlottesville we had family, and half of the family was from North Carolina. But I also loved Abingdon.
Okay.
Because that's where the famous Barter Theater is.
Yeah.
That's a theater where back in the 30s you had to barter. If you had a chicken, you could come in and you could watch a play. And so farmers would barter food, and the actors wanted food, so it's still called the Barter Theater.
Yeah.
Beautiful little community.
Yeah. So if you had a talking parrot, what would it say?
A talking parrot probably say a bunch of curse words.
I think I would teach it to say, "What the fuck are you looking at?"
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah, because everybody listens to parrots.
And anytime anybody came in, that would be what they would
say. Joe, meet my parrot. Benny, say hi. What the fuck are you looking at?
I love that.
Right.
So,
I like that.
If you could turn anything into candy, what would the first thing be? It's like that Skittles commercial, like they touch it and it turns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If I could turn anything into candy. Well, it seems to me it would have to be something I detest that I could turn into candy, like spinach turning into candy or something like that.
Right. Yeah, anything. Okay. Spinach, vegetables, I guess. Okay. Fiction or nonfiction?
Great question, but I'm more hooked on nonfiction.
Perfectly fine.
It's fascinating to know that what I'm reading is true.
Yeah, of course. I like memoirs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Superman or Batman?
Boy, I tell you, Superman.
Okay.
Because he's a small town boy.
True.
He wouldn't have an Alfred.
Calm or innovation?
What's that?
Calm or innovation?
Calm or innovation?
Innovation, yeah.
Oh, I got to go innovation.
Okay. Comfort or gratitude?
Comfort. Because
Okay.
comfort can come from gratitude. Sometimes you can get both.
You can get both out of yeah. And the last question is authenticity or faith?
Or face? Or faith?
Faith. Like
Mm-hmm. No, faith is greatly overrated lately. I'm going to go for authenticity.
I respect that. Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for participating in the rapid fire. I really appreciate it.
Did I get the job?
When do I start? You did. Yeah, you did get the job. Colors. Yeah, we're gonna put you in a hospital bed, and you're gonna wake up at the end and say, "What the fuck are you looking at?" Humor right there.
Become my new mantra, I guess. I suppose.
Right, new mantra. What the fuck are you looking at?
Well, you guys are just a lot of fun to hang out with.
I'm glad you did. Well. This wraps the interview. Thank you so much for coming on, and I will link all of your socials and Hackers Access, Backstage, all that good stuff in the description box below. And towards the rest of you, thank you for watching towards the end of this. And then until next time, peace.
Thank you. Love you all.